Right, it's the old duffer. Customer project. This is a 1945 Renault, I think it's a 5-tonner, built right at the end of the war while the factory was under German occupation. And according to the owner, because of that, these were never very popular. Apparently, just after the war, the locals preferred military stuff. So these things got a bit of a rough ride. To believe it or not, this one must have been kept in a barn somewhere, because it's not rotten. It's rusty, but it's not rotten. It's come in because the engine is locked solid. Now whether that's locked up because it ran out of oil when it was running, or it's locked up because it was sat. Somebody did put a new exhaust on it at some point, probably 20 years ago, that's never been run with that exhaust on it. You can see under there, you can see, there's not even black. If I open the door, you can get in and see it's a 4-cylinder side valve, 2.5 litre. Somebody's pulled the starter out, the seats are out. We've got all the bits, so they've been trying to bar it over. Thankfully, they haven't broken a tooth off on the starter ring. So our job is to get the radiator out of the way, get the floors up, and I pull the head off and see where we're at, what the bores are like. And because there's very little room in here, getting the camera in here is going to be awkward, so I'm just going to do it and then we'll come back to it once we've got something to show you. The engine will be coming out, but let's get its hat off and see if that will give us any clues as to why it's stuck. Hopefully it's just through standing, but we'll see. Well, we'll bring you back when we get something interesting to look at. Right, well, we've got its hat off, and number 1 cylinder, very clean, and if you pull WD-40 down there, it disappears, it goes down, so that's not stuck. There's diesel in that one, that's clearly stuck. That number 3 is very clean, but it's got some WD down there and it's not disappearing, so there's obviously rusted up, and that one is the same. The bores on those two look really, really clean. I don't know what's happened to this engine, it's a really weird one, but there was traces of like instant gasket on the head gasket. I'll take you over and show you. I've got the head on the bench. Walk this way. The head wasn't tight either. It was tight, but not properly tight. It wasn't torqued up or anything. On the head, you come down here, and the dizzy wouldn't come out, so I just pulled it out with a drive. There's bits of like instant gasket, like clear kitchen sort of seal or bathroom sealing, but on that and on the gasket, head gasket itself, it's obviously the original gasket. I think someone's had the head off and then put it back together with bathroom sealer and not torqued it up. I don't think it's ever run. Judging by the 2 clean pistons, I just don't think it's ever run since it was put back together. Now it's stuck. So it looks like it's only on the bores, and it is looking like rust. So hopefully we'll be able to free it off tomorrow. Right, we've got the engine free in more ways than one. Should be able to turn that. Trying to turn it with the camera at the same time, but it does turn. An inch our way around. So all the valves work. Everything's just a bit stiff, that's all, but it does turn. It's also loose. It's only hung in on a few bits. We managed to disconnect the prop. There was a sliding joint at the back. We'll get in there. You should. It's light. I don't know if you should be able to see it. Those 2 bits should be together. I managed to wiggle it about, pull the engine forward on the crane and get them apart. So the only thing that's holding us in is some engine mounts sat on the front. So tomorrow we will get the loader, because the engine crane is at the wrong angle, and I think someone has had the same problem, because we found all the bolts are loose. If you look here, I think that's been cut by hand, but it just goes in at too steep an angle. I need to be going in flat with a pallet fork, lift and out, because I've got to get that sump over. The camera pick it up. There's a front mounting assembly. That cross member is riveted in. I can't remove it, so we're going to have to go in tight to there and lift and out. So yep, we are slowly getting there. We should have it out and get it to bits tomorrow. Right, it's out, hurrah, finally, with its gearbox. We pulled the gearbox off, We're going to look at that because it's spewing oil out the first motion shaft, and there may not be a seal in there anyway, but I need to check it, and obviously check the gearbox out, because when I dropped the oil out of the gearbox, it was like black molasses, so need an oil change. We're not going to clean this up as it is, we're going to get it stripped. There's no point having shiny scrap. I'm hoping this block's going to be salvageable, but you know, we won't know till we do some measuring. To get it free, we heated up with paint stripper gun and got the block warm where it was stuck. It was actually stuck on pistons 2 and 4. 1 and 3 were free. So we got the black block in the area quite warm. We're trying to expand the block off the piston to try and break the rust, and left it overnight, and lo and behold, the diesel and that was in the boards has started to go down. And if you come around here, you'll see I took the bottom bell housing off when the gearbox was still on. I could get it, the flywheel teeth, and with a short pry bar, one each side, I was literally 1 tooth one way, then back another tooth, and rocked it, then 2 teeth one way, not forcing it too much. You'll be a bit careful because you can break teeth off. And 3 teeth and so on, till eventually I could get a rotation, and I cleaned the muck out the bores with a cylinder hone, just a quick whiz, cleaned the worst of it out, and kept rotating it at this point with lubricant, and we got it all free. It's got a lot of water residue in the ports, so we're going to have to probably certainly put hardened valve sits on the exhaust. We may have to do a whole lot. We won't know until we get in there. But I'm going to set up a little camera and try and do a bit of time lapse so you can see him take it to bits, because that's our next job. We need to get it to bits so we can start measuring and see what we've got. And then if it's looking good, we'll then clean everything up scrupulously. So it's and then order the parts, because apparently everything's available for this, which I find amazing considering this is 1945. So the design is probably pre-war. And you can get the parts. So, and we've got all the spec as well. We managed to get the spec for it, so we can measure everything and know whether which side of the spec we are. So, which I'm completely stunned by. I didn't expect that. So, right, I'm going to set up a little GoPro, and you'll see me take it to bits. Right, valves. These, I just had a look. I haven't got my old. I used to have one years ago. It's a fork valve spring compressor that goes in like a G clamp. I've got loads of others for doing later engines, so I might have to go and get one. But these don't have collets to hold the, or valve retainers, the Americans call them, to hold the valves in. These have a pin that sits inside the valve cap top and stops it coming out, which is a bit like an alternator engine. So we're going to get everything else off around the clutch and timing gear, and now I'll probably roll it over and get the sump off and knock the pistons out. The valves are going to be retrievable. We can get valves. It's about how many seats we've got to cut. So right now we just really need to see if we've got a usable crank. We can get mains apparently and big ends, so if we need to do a grind, that would be useful. So I'm just going to whip this to bits and get everything off and go from there. And I will speed this up so you'll hear me talking like Mickey Mouse. Right. We'll put a new clutch plate in, and we'll have this remanufactured. Doesn't look too bad at all. There's plenty of material left before the rivets on both sides, but it's old. I don't know when this was fitted. It looks like it's had a different plate at some time. And what I was saying, these fingers here, hope it's picking up on the camera, they're adjustable. So when you fit this in and you set this up, you have to adjust the distance these are out from the centre of the flywheel. Hopefully it's picking that up. So unlike a modern clutch, we just bang it on, and these have whopping great coil springs inside under these holes, and a modern clutch has a diaphragm spring, totally different arrangement. So yeah, this will have to be set out. I'll have to read the book of words to know what the correct figures are, but we'll probably send that in and have it overhauled. There's no point messing with second-hand parts when you're in it this deep. So we'll just put that over there for a minute. And yeah, locking wire everywhere. On every single bolt there's locking wire. So let's get that out. There's even locking wire on a fan. On floor. And I want to put that on the floor. If I turn this block round, it's a bit more interesting. It's also got locking wire on the rear main seal. It is a rubber seal, a cone type seal sits behind that box and against that. Never seen one of those before. Very interesting. Yeah, I've never seen it one. And the cone rubs against there, which is what it would be if it was a rope seal. This was a rubber seal. Maybe this one didn't leak as bad as a graphite impregnated rope seal. Yeah. And the other thing we found when we took it apart was somebody did bathroom sealer on the head gasket, both sides, and not took the head up, because I undid it and it was loose as you like. So it was clear RTV, so I'm assuming it was bathroom sealer on an old head gasket. So I think if we'd have ever got it going, it wouldn't have lasted very long. So just like it's just really odd. It's rock solid. I assume it's just coagulated oil, but holy moly. Because I need to get that one off, get the pulley off. I'll flip it on its side, wet the sump off. Yeah, that is goofy as hell. sump bolts. I feel like a stonemason. It's really odd stuff. It's not modern silicon to do that. It's solid. Whatever it is. Of course, all the nuts around, all the bolts are under here. That's weird as hell. Answers on a postcard, wouldn't that is? Good, better. A mixture of lactic and oil, it's better than this side, it's less solid, but that side is just bleeding everywhere. I have no idea what this can yield something, put it that way. And that's what it is. There we go. Right, you got a little puller or something to get that on with. Let's see what we got. That one might do it. What size? Yeah, this has got a severe case of Black Death, this thing. Now oils are improved, but yeah, it's run out of thread. Oh, this has got an active thread on it as well. Oh, that might count for some of the oil. Yeah, this is what I mean about, I mentioned active thread in the gearbox. I know this will pick it up in the camera, but you've got a square thread cut into these faces that rotate. I don't know whether that's picking it up, I don't see that. But that's a left-hand thread, so when this engine is spinning that way, the thread goes the other way, and any oil that tries to creep up the shaft should fall in the thread. It's not full of Black Death and gook, and work its way back to the sump. And it has often a felt seal or something in here. We'll find out in a minute when we get this cover off. And that was very common for this period, because this is pre-war, this design. When I used to work on WO Bentleys, 1922 to 1932, they didn't have oil seals on the crank main, and they used to leak oil everywhere. That's just how they were. Gears, not changed. Oh my god. Yeah, I don't know whether the camera's picking this up. Come a bit closer, maybe you can see it. This is what we call the Black Death. This is carbon deposit mixed with oil in your engine, and it gets into all the little oil galleries and oilways and restricts oil flow and ruins your day, trust me. There's no felt seal in there either, it's just Acme thread that holds the oil back. Or not, in this case it may be. And this is proper steel trunk. I didn't expect to see a chain, but it's got gears. But yeah, this is the black snot that you don't want to see on anything. It's really bad news. Yeah. But it's gears, and it's not a fibre gear, it is a, for the period, it's proper gears. It's Right, here we go, got the sump off. That is the sludge, Black Death. Snot everywhere. The sump has been brazed up as well, and it's lots of RTV, so it's been off during the last 25 years, I should think. Also, it's got very strange markings on these big end shells that I don't understand. So what I've done is mark 1, 1, 2, 2, 3, 3, 4, 4. So we know which way round they go, and they're paired. And on the pistons, I'll put 1, 2, 3, and 4 on the front edge, so you can see it went that way. So it's some sort of marking, so you can see where it should go. So we're just going to pop number 1 out. And then I need to take all this mess off, but I should be able to get here. So just knock this one out. Let's see what we got. Knock that one out. I've taken the split pins out because it all held butterfingers. I'm missing a socket somewhere. Yeah, we are missing a socket somewhere. Never mind. It will be with a 17mm socket. Was it on there? Well, obviously back to that in. See, not really not tight either. That's a 3/8 ratchet, and I'm not really giving it something to get that off. That's not a good sign. Yeah, it's messy. Having said that, if everything's coated in oily snot, it might have stopped the water getting to it. There was no water in the sump, which is good. Pistoni rings are all free. Wow. Don't know how we're doing on. Yeah, a bit of scoring on the piston. Nothing that would worry me of something of this age. I can't see any immediate cracks in it around the gudgeon pin or anything, because that's a classic. Obviously, we've got to mic all this up, but it would appear, and this is a first for me because I don't. The actual white metal is in the big end. It's not a shell, it's part of the cap, which is a new one on me. And it's pretty worn. It's pretty chewed up. I've got a bit of rag handy. Yeah, you've got little, you see that, you've got little specks of metal actually stuck in it that come from elsewhere in the engine, and there's a lot of wear. It's 80 years old, what do you expect? So this can be reformed. We can remelt white metal into here and then remachine it to suit the crank. That may be the way we end up going, depending on. I don't want to put this back in, as I'm not happy with that at all. Oh dear. Yeah, there's some serious pitting in the crank. I don't know whether you can see that. It's picking up on the camera. That's probably been there for a very, very, very long time, but I really don't like the look of that at all. We've got to remember we're dealing with a wartime vehicle. There is also water damage, so we're going to, obviously it's all got to come apart, everything's got to come out. So we'll get it stripped. I didn't see the point in filming you stripping it. You know, you take one big end out of the so. So we'll come back when I've got this stripped out and we've got a bit more information on where we're going to go with it. I think that'll be the best way. Right, here we are, a load of gooey stinky parts later. I've done a quick hone of all the bores on a very fine stone on my honing tool, just to clean the rust out and see where we are. We're going to gouges. The bores are good, little bit worn, bang a set of rings on it, pistons look okay, we get away with it. It's the rotating assembly we're going to have a problem. The crank's worn, all the bearings are worn, and being the big ends are actually physically part of the conrod, whether we can get replacement conrods with the right dimension, undersized shell or undersized machining of the big end material, or whether we're going to have to re-white those with white metal material and remachine them ourselves. Don't know yet. Somebody's tried to get this going in the past and they ground all the valves in beyond redemption, so we're going to have to replace all the valves, but we're going to put hardened seats in anyway because of unleaded fuel. That'll help that. So it's not beyond it, it just needs a bit of therapy, and it's not been well loved. It's done a lot of miles, and this is what happens if you don't change your oil. You end up with an engine full of snot, which doesn't do your engine any good. I never run my motors past 6,000 miles. Petrol or diesel, change the oil. Oil and filter is much cheaper than a blown motor, trust me, it really is. So this video has been long enough. We're going to do another video on once we've cleaned it all up, measuring it and showing you where we are with it and what we can do about it. So that's it for now, and we'll see you in the next one. Ta-da!